Mr. Deputy Chairman, I would like to say that the question has been very ably thrashed out by the speakers who have preceded me and Professor Humayun Kabir, who was, I suppose, one of the joint authors who were responsible for the initial framing of this bill, has explained the whole position in a very lucid manner. Now, Mr. Deputy Chairman, I would like to say that I wish it had been possible for us to integrate this institution with a university, because I do not believe in isolated institutions having the status of a university or having more or less the status of a university. A university is a place where knowledge is integrated. A university is a place where you have teachers of various departments of knowledge, students reading various subjects, all congregated at one place and pursuing knowledge for knowledge's sake. Now, a technological institute, howsoever important from a national point of view, cannot be a university in that sense. It should therefore form a part of larger institution which has a liberalizing influence, a humanizing influence. We have followed in this matter the American model, but I think generally in Britain and in other Western countries, the tendency, the idea to have institution of the rank having a university status is discouraged. As far as I know, sir, the Imperial College of Science and Technology, which is a very big institution in the United Kingdom, is a part of the London University. It is not a separate institution at Kharagpur, which is going to be a bigger institution than the Imperial College of Science. At all events, for the first few years, I wanted an All India Institute of Medical Sciences. I wanted the institute to be affiliated to some university, and I relied for that position upon the view which was expressed by the Good Enough Committee on Medical Education, which was appointed by the British government some years ago. That committee was not in favor of the Royal College of Physicians acting as a university and holding examinations. It wanted medical education to be under the control of a university. Therefore, I would have preferred, Mr. Deputy Chairman, this institution to be made part of some national university. But there is one difficulty, and I have not been able to get an answer to that difficulty. The institution could have only been affiliated to the Calcutta University. Then, sir, I would like to say that Professor Humayun Kabir is right in the view that the distinction between fundamental research and applied research is fast disappearing in the modern world. One thing about this is that you cannot have research to order. There is a lot of wastage in the processes by which you arrive at a discovery, and in order that we might be able to promote research, we must be prepared for this wastage. No institution can be effective from a research point of view until and unless the teachers of that institution are given ample leisure to advance knowledge. It has been stressed that this institution will provide for postgraduate teaching, for undergraduate teaching, and for research, but it is also going to be teachers training college which will supply us with our teaching material in the country. Well, Mr. Deputy Chairman, it is therefore important that the teaching staff in this institution should be carefully selected. I confess that I have no prejudice against foreign personnel where we cannot get suitable Indian for a particular job. We ought not hesitate to employ foreign personnel. I happen to have visited some years back Princeton University in USA, and I found that the dean of the faculty of science there was a Britisher. He had not, as far as I know, changed his nationality. He was the head of the Department of Science of that institution. Mr. Deputy Chairman, if we start entertaining national prejudice against foreign personnel in our country, we shall not be doing service to the expansion of knowledge in this country. It does not mean that we should prefer a foreigner where we can get an Indian, and it certainly does not mean that we should get for our academic council men from abroad. I certainly think that the constitution of the proposed academic council is unsatisfactory. I have seen something of how academic councils work in the universities of my own state. I know that there is a tendency on the part of our teachers, for whom I have got great respect, to look upon themselves as a corporation. I should like some fresh blood to be introduced in our academic councils. I think it should be possible for us to have an academic council which would include teachers from such places as Roorkee, Banaras, or Aligarh.